Hi everyone. What I like to do is when I look at like my videos and stuff, if at the end, like I notice when I'm really trying to say something that's super important, I notice that for some reason the devil interferes and you know my videos get choppy at the end, like when it's something that I'm trying to say to save somebody's life. But I wanted to go back and talk about the ending of the video when I was talking about. I noticed when I got to the part that spoke of, hi, Miss Grace. I noticed when I got to the part of my video, the last video that I just did, that was speaking about the suicide funeral. One of the things that I was saying that before the video started getting choppy was that this was a military funeral, and I can't talk about the specifics, even I know the specifics, but everybody handles suicide differently. And again, like I was saying before, you cannot call somebody a coward and all of these names and stuff because you're not living in somebody's head. So again, getting back to the suicide part of the funeral, to whereas when the guy had killed himself, and I went through the suicide funeral with my extra person, and this guy didn't have any children at all. That's one of the things that I had to look at. Because in my mind, like I felt bad about, I wanted to commit suicide, but I wasn't looking at the part of, what would happen to the kids afterwards. I was looking from the point of, you've been living in pain all of this time. It won't stop. No matter what you do, it's just never ending. And no matter how much medicine I take, no matter what I do, it's just not going away. So what it took was for me to go to that funeral. And when I realized that, like I was saying in the last video, this guy did not have any children. He, of course his mom was there, and, I know he had a grandfather in the military and everything. And I know that they would miss him, but it's different when you have children. And then when you look at that part of your life where, I was watching a video. That's one thing I wanted to add in the other video. I was watching a video the other day, and there was this guy, I believe his name was Kevin. It was Kevin. And he jumped off the bridge, and right before he hit the water, he was praying to God, asking God, please, God, I don't want to die. Please don't let me die. Please don't let me die. Please don't let me die. But he ended up hitting the water, and it was like hitting glass. He ended up in a hospital. He had his neck, he had a brace for his neck. He had to have surgery and everything. But what he does is go around telling people about it and stuff. And like I said, I had to look at it as, again, like I said in a video, it got kind of choppy. One friend, she has a child with, some people have two organs. Well, one of those organs, got messed up by a tumor, so it had to be removed. That would be unfair to ask her to keep my children that I decided to kill myself and I left them behind. And then there's another friend, she have two disabled children, and that wouldn't be fair too. So I think it was more or less with major depression, when you go through these things and when you see these things and it's happening to you, you don't see until you get to see other people's lives and how they dealt with it as well. So again, like I was saying in the other video, don't sit there and call somebody a coward if they take the suicide way out, because maybe they haven't dug deep enough into themselves. And then, like I was saying before, as the video had gotten choppy, there was a friend that I had at the time. She asked me, did I want to go to church? And I told her, yes, because again, I'm repeating myself because I don't know how much y'all were able to hear at the end of the video. So I ended up coming across an elderly mentor. And this person, at the time, they were in their 60s. Now they're in their 70s. And like, he really took his time, prayed with me, taught me a lot of things that I never knew. And he gave me, like, he, as a church person, how can I say this? There are people that experience church hurt, but don't turn away the church completely. Like, the church and people are two different, you just can't compare everything. So anyway, he worked with me, and again, I had to work on myself and stuff, and it took some years. But it's like major depression is not something that just is gonna go away one day. It's gonna magically disappear. And like I was saying at the end of the other video, those of you who know me, chances are, again, like I said, you've met the smiling Keisha. I know how to smile. I know how to pretend like I'm happy and everything. But what you probably met was the Keisha that was slowly dying at that time, and I didn't even know it. So, like I said, get help, like pray. You always got to pray. You always have to stay prayed up. But also, too, you have to, have to find something that makes you want to fight. And in my case, like I said in, my last video before it got choppy, my kids, if I die, who they gonna have? And that's not fair, because one thing I always said, that if I ever had children, I would never would put them in a position to whereas they would be like, I could have gotten further if I would have had, this type of parents. So that's why, it wouldn't be fair to them. And so that's why I'll tell anybody, like, pray and stuff like that. These are the holidays. There are some people that's, lost their children and stuff like that. And this is their first holiday that they have to experience without. Different things happen. People go through different things. So we got to put ourselves in a place to whereas we don't laugh at people. We don't, she's crazy. Because I've been through that. I promise you, I've sat through a conversation. And this was at the time when he had the cordless phones, the big, the cordless phones where you could hear the conversations. And I was sitting listening to my child being told that I was crazy by the extra person. So that's why I say, you just take your time, make it day by day. There are people that need you. They need your story to survive. They need what happened to you to help them. Because a lot of times when we be going through things in our lives, we be thinking like, really, this is Ebonics, whatever. Yeah, this is hood. We be thinking. But we be thinking that we're the only ones and we're not. So keep going. Keep going. There's always somebody out there like you. And there's a reason why you were put here, and you do have a purpose. Y'all have a blessed one. And prayerfully, this one came out better. And just take it day by day. And just remember, when you see my face, I suffer with major depression. It's major depressive disorder I was diagnosed with. And I suffer with anxiety too. So you're just not alone. And just always remember that there's somebody out there like you. And you're going to run across other people out there like you. And, I get teary-eyed when I say this. But just you got to remember that no matter what happens, you got to keep going and keep praying. And again, one last thing, find that one thing that makes you keep going. In my book, it's my kids. So y'all have a blessed one, and thank y'all.